Okay, this one is, how much should Australia spend on foreign aid? So Sarath, we'll start with you this time.
So can you tell me which countries get the highest share of foreign aid right now?
Yeah, I can quickly look that up.
Is it African countries? I'm just making a guess.
Yeah, I think I've got it here by region. So Southeast and East Asia gets the highest.
Southeast Asia?
Yeah, Southeast Asia is the highest, but I'm trying to bring it up by nation.
No, I think region, I think it should be fine. So see, I'll tell you what. See, the thing with foreign aid is, the one who gives foreign aid, right? They get good mileage out of it. They'll say that, we are giving this much of foreign aid. But the point is, the recipients of this foreign aid, they are countries, largely, they are with huge corrupt regimes. And most of the foreign aid, it just ends up in the personal bank accounts of either the people who run the country or the people who are connected with them. So I think there should be other ways of giving it. I think this is a huge topic again, but I think as far as the voting goes, I would say about the same as now, because if you lower it, right, it would have diplomatic repercussions. Just for that reason, I would not want it to reduce. You can just keep it the same, but there should be better ways of helping other countries. And this is a globalized world. There are many other ways to help countries, and most of the time the foreign aid it just goes into the pockets of those who run these countries.
It's a good point.
But the donors gain a great mileage politically.
Yeah, they do. They do, and that's a great example here. Is one of the countries that we send a lot of money to is Nauru. And we know we've already discussed what kind of political advantage we have there in terms of detention centres, but a significant amount of it is spent on the Pacific partnerships, which includes Cook Islands, Fiji, Kiribati, Papua New Guinea. So these are the countries that get the most from Australia at the moment. So Aditya, did you have anything to add to this one?
I think as of now, it says that $4 billion is current budget, with 16% is given to the overseas aid. That looks like a good amount for me, and they're been investing into having the children of Afghanistan going to school, and also at different parts of the whole world. In the coming years, if you want to bring a global equilibrium of having a standard life across the globe, every country who can spare should spare, is what I think. I'm happy either at about same as now, and also somewhat more.
Babu Gogineni?
I was trying to bring out the statistics related to this. I know that the world governments agreed that 0.7% of the GDP should be allocated to overseas aid. Now, only the Scandinavian countries have kept that promise. No other country has kept that. I know, and I just verified, that the US is the world's largest donor agency, let's say, donor country, at $8 billion US. Now, $4 billion from Australia is actually Australian dollars, I think. For the number of people in Australia, that's a lot of money. Now, the US is 350 million. Australia is 25 million. So I think Australia is giving significant amount of money, but it's not the 0.7% that Australia agreed to give. That all countries should move towards that. I think because Australia already agreed, Australia should work towards reaching that 0.7% of GDP as foreign aid. Now, going back to an earlier question about detention centers and so on, if more money is given to stabilize the unstable parts of the world, there will be less people wanting to stay here, come and stay here. It is also intelligent way of using money. You want less of a refugee problem? Promote global peace. I can assure keep going back to where they were raised, to go back to their memories and to go back to their relatives and that language and that system and schooling that they're familiar with. So people leave. It's not like a tourist visit, right? You have to leave your life and uproot yourself and go somewhere. Those situations can be addressed if foreign aid is intelligently deployed to make things less problematic, especially if you're one of the countries selling arms, especially if you're one of the countries sending troops to maintain order. Spend that much money on diplomacy, pressurizing Afghanistan and Jordan and Lebanon and Libya and things around Turkey and Syria. And probably you increase the happiness in those societies and you reduce the amount of refugee applications coming to you. I will say it should spend more, and I will say it should spend as much as the country has committed to.
Yeah.
From what I have seen just now on the internet, there's a marginal, very slight reduction in the amount of funds being given, but also there is a freeze on this amount that it should not be more than what it is. I think it will be good for a rich country like Australia, a generous country like Australia, a just country, which largely looks after citizens and residents better than most countries, should give this some consideration. So I will say much more.
Much more. Okay. So I would put myself in the somewhat more category based on the same reasons as well. I think it's high time we fix the problem in a positive way, like you say, instead of the detention stuff. So I think on balance, we're somewhere here. So we'll stick with that. If everyone's okay with that, we'll move on to the next one. Sunday penalty rates should be higher.